Hi, everyone. Good evening. How's everyone doing? Happy, smiling faces. All right, very good, very good. So welcome to day 2 of the face-off for the 39th council elections. Very, very good to have everybody here. I've got the entire election committee here with me, and I can see smiling faces of the candidates and also of your cohort mates. So welcome. So today's face-off, for those of you who visited or who attended the one on Wednesday, you guys know how it goes. For those of you who did not, I'm going to take you guys through very quickly the ground rules for the face-off today. All right. So this is all for the candidates. So candidates, please ensure that your video is turned on at all times. In case there is any technical issue or hiccup on your end for any reason, there will be no do-overs. So please make sure that you're connected to your Wi-Fi or your hotspot, wherever it is. Make sure that your connection is good and strong. If there are any extenuating circumstances, please try to message anybody in the election committee early enough during the session so that we can take note. And then we will do an assessment on a case-by-case basis to make a final decision. Please note that your manifesto or any kind of visual aids will not be used. Only your spoken word and your speech will be used to influence people. Every candidate will get 30 seconds to introduce themselves and 60 seconds for pairs. And you will be asked to stop, or you will be muted by one of the members of the election committee if you are to go over the allocated time. Next slide. All right. After this, we will be doing a Q&A session. So you will have no more than 1 minute to respond. So please adhere to the time limit to ensure that the face-off session does not overrun. We have very strict time limits imposed for all clubs today. The session will be organized sequentially by groups and will be led by Fred and following that by Kabir for the Q&A session. And for the Q&A, you will be fielding questions from your cohort mates, the MBA Programmes Office, as well as the 38th Council's student leaders. All right, so just before we proceed onwards, I have a little bit of an announcement to make. Okay. So in the interest of full transparency and due diligence, the election committee would like to highlight that an incident was reported through the official reporting platform, and we would like to provide an update on it today before we commence. On 31st August, 2 reports were submitted through the platform claiming that a candidate had violated the rules of the cooling off period. As is the nature of the reporting platform, these complaints are anonymous. So while the candidate in question is known to the election committee, they shall remain anonymous to everyone else. Upon receipt of the reports, the election committee internally investigated the incident by scrutinizing the claim, the evidence attached, and cross-examined the claims with other sources. This was then followed by a thorough discussion involving all election committee members. It was determined unanimously that the evidence was deemed insufficient to support the claims made by the complainants. The first-hand descriptions of the incident, as well as our back-end investigation, revealed that the candidate's actions did not indicate any explicit campaigning done, but rather an act of networking with fellow cohort mates in the lead up to the face-off this week. So with the above information and findings, the election committee has ruled that the candidate in question has not violated the rules of the election and the cooling off period, and therefore no further action is required. Now, at this point, if any other person present here has any information or evidence that can support this claim, please present it to the election committee immediately for evaluation. Otherwise, we shall consider the matter concluded and closed and request that everyone respects the anonymity of the complainants and the candidate in question. I'm going to give you guys 20 to 30 seconds now if anybody wants to speak up on this matter. Once again, this is your opportunity to speak up if anybody wants to say anything on this matter. If there is nothing, then we shall proceed with face-off day 2. So just for your awareness, this is the order in which we will be doing the face-off for our clubs. We will be kickstarting with the Cultural, Social, and Community Club, followed by the Finance Club, the Healthcare Club, the Marketing Club, the Technology Club, and then we will be following that with the Exco positions, part-time liaison, the Council President, and the Council Vice President. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over the time now to Fred and Kabir, who will kickstart the festivities for today. Over to you, Fred.
So exciting. Are you guys ready? Okay, we will begin with CSC. And first up, we have, slide. All right, Stacy, you have 30 seconds.
Hello, everyone. You probably heard the phrase, friends are families we choose. So I'm running president of CSC. If elected, I'll use my energy, experience, and skills to organize activities and events that you can have fun and take a break from studies, to build long-term relationship beyond the MBA and appreciate the different cultures in Singapore. That's all. Have a good evening.
Excellent. Next, we have Francesca.
Hi, I'm Francesca. NUS is a place for us to foster lifelong friendships, and I'd like to continue to do this as CSC president by having fun and exciting, diverse events. I did this in my sorority and university and also in my last job, and would like to continue to do this at NUS as well, so that we can make sure that the entire cohort, both full-time and part-time, can get to know each other, and so that this club is as diverse as possible. I'd like to make sure that each component of CSC is highlighted equally and make sure we maximize our MBA experience. Thank you.
All right, excellent. Can we have George?
Yo, what's up, guys? George here, running for the president for the CSC. So I'm from China, but my background is kind of like diverse. So I spent more than 2 years living in Canada and then more than 5 years in the US. So of course, I know how to throw a legit party. I also love traveling. So I've pretty much been to everywhere in the world. So I have friends from all over the world. So I know how to interact, networking with all different people with who are from different cultures. So yeah.
Okay, sorry, that was 30 seconds. All right, next we have Azad.
Hi everyone, I'm Azad. I run for CVP, and yeah, I have a very bright experience in organizing different events, etc. in my previous job and my previous university. And I think many of you already know me, and I would love to meet everyone else. I'm very good at networking, so vote for me and win. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll be taking questions from the cohort. Any questions, guys? We have one question from Tiffany. How often are you planning to hold events?
May I take this?
Sure.
So I'd like to host events at least every month. Knowing that as a full-time student, I only have 17 months in this program, I want to make sure that every moment of it is maximized. And given how broad the focus of this club is, I don't think we'll ever run out of content for events. And also, I'm aware of that a lot of people are willing to volunteer as core team members and help us out with events as well. And I know that there's a lot of opportunities for cross-club collaboration, so I'm excited to do that and know that we'll be able to host many events throughout the year. And as a full-time student, I'll be able to focus all my efforts on this. Thank you.
Anyone else?
So shall I answer this? Can I answer as well? Yeah, so I'm planning a different type of event. So in terms of the festival, I plan to celebrate some major festival. So those will follow the calendar of probably 10 of them in 1 year term time. And we'll also organize some fun activities. Those will happen every like 2-3 weeks, and not everyone will join, but so everyone are welcome. And a few others I will want to do is actually for social cause, and also partner with the other clubs like sports and wellness, and also to do some informal networks, partnering with like technology entrepreneurship. That's all. Yeah.
Can we answer that? Can I answer that? Or is
Sure, George, go ahead.
max?
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm proposing some like new events. So I want to show to everybody like this so-called party club can also be meaningful. So I want to collaborate with professional clubs like finance, consulting. So basically the idea is after the guest speaker finished their sharing session, we CAC will invite them to our after party along with whoever wants to attend. So you can just chilling, grab a drink, take some snacks, and then go networking all you want with the guest speaker. And also a lot of exciting new things. But due to the time, I will just stop here. By the way, Azad, I like your background.
Excellent. So now that the focus is on Azad, let me ask Azad a question, right? So Azad, since you're running for VP, among 3 candidates for president, who would you pick and why?
Oh, actually, it's a very tough question because I know all the 3 candidates, and George is my close friend, Stacy too, and Francesca. I have been in Francesca's house and Stacy and in George's room. So yeah, it's a really tough question, and I think, to be honest, I haven't decided yet. So I think I'm gonna make a decision like in the last minute before voting. So yeah, guys, we still have time to convince me to vote for you.
All right, guys. We have CSC outgoing president Christian in the house. Christian, you want to ask them a question, Christian? Christian, are you there?
Hey, what's up? This is CSC, right?
This is CSC. You want to ask the candidates a question?
Yeah, sure. Well, who's it doesn't matter.
All right, guys. I think we don't have Christian right now. Yeah. So yeah, I can see the hand raised. So I'll take one from Vincent.
Okay, hi, thanks. So my question is like CSC, for better or for worse, is known as the party club or the drinking club. And we know that the MBA office won't really sponsor, alcohol. So my question is like, if you're a CSC president, what will you do to change the image of the club? Thank you.
Can I take this? So obviously CSC is known to be like the fun social club, and I'm all for that, but I think I want to change the image so that the cultural and community aspects are equally emphasized. I think there's a lot more we can do in terms of community involvement, not just in this club, but for this whole MBA program. And I want this club to be able to offer these types of events. Like there's so many great organizations we can partner with in Singapore, like Habitat for Humanity and the Singapore Food Bank, that will allow us to do community service more so than we are now. And I also want this club to be a platform for networking, especially with alumni. I feel like we can really leverage the alumni office and have events with alumni members so that we can network with them in a more relaxed setting compared to formal club events and get to know them more and really just like leverage this networking opportunity that we have. Thank you.
Okay, I'll take a question from Sherry.
Yes, thanks, guys. Actually, all of us have very high expectation for this club. So I wonder, can you name the most exciting event in your plan for the coming year?
Shall I go for it? Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I cannot name like one, but the upcoming one will be like Halloween in October, and for New Year countdown. I have, and also have one actually for, I want to keep it a bit secret, but there will be another festival that want to celebrate, and yeah, so stay tuned for that. But mainly for me is I want everyone to celebrate the different culture and have the holiday dress up for that. Yeah.
Sorry guys. Next question goes to Remy.
Remy, we can't hear your question.
Sorry, Remy, we can't hear you. I'll skip you and then come back to you later. So JJ, you have the next question.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Sorry, I'm outside, so I can't turn on my my camera. But my question to Stacey is that since you're a part-time student, and I know that you said you're very energetic, how do you plan to balance your full-time job and being a president of like a CSC club, which probably requires a lot of energy as well? Thank you.
Sure. I expect that question to come. So I think the details is lie in planning. So I already started actually planning for the activities and what we're going to do. So and also talk to people that who want to become the committee members, right? So with the help of the committee member and Azad, we'll plan the calendar in advance and the logistics, everything, budget and team. So planning is a key word. Second, in terms of how I manage my time, that's personal, but I have the support from my company as well for the MBA and also about the clubs. They all know that. So I think I can balance between the job and this club member. Yeah, club membership. Thank you.
We're gonna take the next question from Liu Jun.
All right, thanks. So we all know that Singapore is famous for its multicultural, multi-race. And what's your experience? I would like to ask for the president's candidates, what's your experience in terms of multiracial, and do you have any specific ideas for the CSC in your planning itself? Thanks.
Okay. Next questions. Any questions from MBA Programmes Office, staff, faculty?
No, all good.
Okay, Eileen, thank you. So guys, we'll move on. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
So do we answer Liu Jun's question or no?
Sorry, guys. I'm distracted here. Sorry. Please answer his question.
Oh, can I take this? Yeah, so just like what I said, I've been to everywhere in the world. So I made friends from different cultures. So for me, like my whole background is really diversified. And for the upcoming like culture fusion events, what I'm planning to do is we're gonna collaborate. We're gonna work with all different people from different cultures, and we're gonna host like a culture months kind of event. So just like for Chinese, we have this special festivals like autumn festival or spring festival. We're gonna collaborate with Chinese cohort and to set up a series of events. Same as India, Korea, Japanese, Kazakhstan. All the people, all our cohorts from different background, we're gonna set up a series of events focusing on their very unique cultures. So yeah, that's one of my future plans.
All right, excellent, guys. So in the interest of time, we do have to move on, but you guys can reply to the questions in the chat privately, so you can answer the questions. All right, well, we're moving on to the next club, Finance Club. Okay, and first up, we have Jay and Sanjana. You guys have 1 minute.
Sounds good. So I'm going to quickly introduce myself, then Sanjana will talk about herself as well as our vision. So for me personally, most of my career over the last 5 years has been in finance and capital markets, as well as fintech, largely in sales and client management roles. And what I'm bringing to kind of Finance Club is that sales and that energy, the sales skills, networking skills, as well as the cap markets knowledge.
Hey everyone, I'm Sanjana. I worked in audit, mergers, as well as strategy finance. The vision that we bring is really simple. It's a 3-part pillar of enable, transform, and nurture. We intend on doing that through multiple aspects such as diversity and inclusion, including the women representation, as well as part-time inclusion. The other bit being the focus group concentration. Overall, our entire aim is to make the Finance Club a super collaborative space for everyone who's trying to find their way into finance, as well as finance enthusiasts. So we look forward to this discussion and really keen on answering your questions. Thank you.
Right on time, guys. Next up, we have Hashim and Manoj.
Hi guys, I'm Hashim and I've been working in SME commercial and corporate finance for the past 5 years. Apart from that, for my education, I am a CFA charter holder as well with membership in CFA Society Singapore and Pakistan. We've got some exciting events lined up for you guys over the next year, and we plan to connect with everyone on a personal level to understand everyone's goals and help them achieve their targets. Now I'll be handing it over to Manoj.
Hey everyone, I'm Manoj, candidate for Vice President. So I have 5 years of experience in finance, mainly in equity research and investment advisory. My educational background is also in commerce, finance, and also data analytics. So Hashim and I have some good ideas for the club to improve the employability of all its members using networking and other opportunities. So we look forward to this discussion today.
Thank you, guys. Now we will be taking questions from the floor. Do you have any questions for the Finance Club candidates?
Come on, guys. I'm sure somebody has some questions.
Guys, come on. We want to turn the heat up a little bit. Cherry? Okay, Cherry, go ahead.
Yeah, so how do you think you are different from the other pair?
Okay. Jay, you want to go ahead first?
Jay, we're not able to hear you.
Sorry, guys. So can you guys hear me now? Okay, so a couple buckets. I'm going to start and then pass on to Sanjana. I think first and foremost is what we've done today, right? So let's look at the kind of the extent to which we've been involved with Club Fiesta organizing events, as well as during the campaign, where the campaigning week, where we've actually gone out and spoken to about 40 of you. Unfortunately, it's 130 members. I can't speak to everyone, but we did get a good idea in general, of what people were looking for and what they're hoping for, and that's kind of going to form the basis of our decisions moving forward. Sanjana, what about yourself? Perhaps diversity side as well.
Yep. So the thing is, again, like we've spoken to a bunch of people and we realized that the diversity bit that is mostly on the inclusion, especially for the part-timers. And also this whole thing around focus groups is something that a lot of people have been speaking about. And that's something that we really are keen on working on. So we're hoping that those are the key differentiators, especially the focus groups for people interested in different segments of the industry, like say fintech or say PEs and VCs, etc. So more close-ended targeted events and within the group networking planned for them.
All right. Let's go with Alex first, or Safira.
So can I just quickly step in to respond to the previous question, if that's okay?
Sorry, Manoj, we have to move on.
Hi, guys. So I have one question. We noted that some of the candidates have mentioned their professional qualifications, such as CFA, in the manifestos and the videos. How would these qualifications make you better leaders for Finance Club?
Like I mentioned, Safira, earlier that like I mentioned earlier that I'm a member of the CFA Society, Pakistan and Singapore. I am in contact with one of the members of Maurice Teo, who's a member of the advocacy board of the CFA Society Singapore, and I plan on introducing him to our cohort so that we can build a bilateral relationship with each other and attend information sessions and training sessions that are held by the CFA Society.
Organizations like CFA and other professional qualifications go beyond just the networking aspect. So it's a good step in for people from non-finance backgrounds to gain educational qualification in finance and learn different areas of finance. So over the long term, they can target whatever they're interested in.
Jay, you guys want to take that question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, go on, Jay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I did have a couple of thoughts to add over here. I think, again, CFA does give you this technical ability, but then the question is technical abilities exist within a workspace. There's a lot more that adds value as well. Within Jay and myself, we've helped scale a large number of organizations. We have experience within finance, but we worked on alternative aspects of finance, which we believe is where a lot of interest lies as well. And we believe that having the right kind of connections, having the right kind of networks, which we've already done so far, being within the SCTC and pulling off all these events. So we basically believe that to some extent helps us.
Okay, sorry guys, that was 1 minute to answer the question. All right, there's a question in the chat from Mosan, so I'll read it out. Finance Club organized one of the most popular events this year in collaboration with EXCO and SEI, the networking night. Do you guys plan to take this event forward in your tenure? If yes, how would you do it differently?
Yes, I'll probably take that because I was a part of that fiesta. So yes, we do plan on taking it forward. I know Gaurav and I have discussed this multiple times. I've discussed this with those running in SEI. So green finance and a large number of ESG aspects are becoming really popular of late. So within the connections that we brought in, we realized a significant chunk of them are those who've been in the ESG space, and we've kind of nurtured those connections. So we're hoping to have more one-on-one discussions where we can get them on board to speak about certain key aspects. Say, for instance, we already covered one thing on the net zero piece, but there are other pieces on green finance, on ESG in methods and investing, etc. So we do intend on bringing more contributions of that sort over the next few months. Does that answer your question?
In our manifesto, me and Manoj have decided that we're going to build separate networking sessions, because in the previous networking session, there was only one event covering a lot of topics. We're going to have different topics for everyone in covering in different events.
Right, guys, just wanted to clarify, it's 1 minute per question. So you guys got to be quick, right? So let's take one from the floor. Let's go to Steve.
Oh, yeah. So what are some highlights from your SETC experience you guys would highlight that shows you guys are capable candidates?
Yeah, so me and Manoj have conducted a lot of events, one of which was held yesterday, the Impact for Finance to the Bottom of the Pyramid. And plus I collaborated with the Energy Club as well, which was like digital transformation and how it impacts the bottom of the line. And in the future, we have also scheduled asset management event. So I'm collaborating with all these different clubs. I went and did an event with the SCI Club, with the Energy Club, and one I've got with the Finance Club. And Manoj, would you like to talk about your events as well?
Yeah, so in the STTC period, we had done events with various different clubs, and what we're looking forward, as mentioned in our manifesto, also to collab with other clubs, because there's a lot of scope for people with skill sets in different areas to come into finance and use their skill sets and move into the industry, and maybe network with other people in the industry. So collaborations with entrepreneurship and tech club is something we are really keen on looking forward.
Yeah,
right.
on our end,
guys. Sorry, Jay. We're moving on. Next question. So, okay, it's from the chat. A lot of recruitment events are targeted at internship and then follow-up job offer. How would you help a PT student, well, maybe someone from a non-finance background as well, move into a finance function?
Yes.
Yeah,
so on this, yeah, go on, Jay.
Okay, both really eager. So let's start with the PT side first. That's pretty simple. So we've spoken to a number of PT students. A lot of people said timing of events, things like that are an issue because obviously PT students are working full time. So one of the big pillars of our platform is part-time inclusion. We're going to try and make sure that our event schedule and our activity schedule is going to allow for part-time students to actually participate without like sneaking off on the job and things like that. As far as folks who are not from a finance background goes, if you guys look at our manifesto, we have 3 kind of steps, right? So first is information gathering, second is networking and skill building, the third is support. So we want to funnel everyone kind of through those different steps where you're looking at, you're first learning, you're executing, and then you're on the job. And I think we have a pretty good structure on that. And so that's how we'd help.
Thanks, Jay. We'll take the next question from Steve, please.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to lower down my hand. Yeah.
So you did ask a question.
Oh, I did, but actually, if I can hear it from the other pair, that'd be great.
Sure.
Yeah.
What was your question again?
Basically, what are some highlights from your SETC? What are some things you'd like to highlight from your SETC to show that you're capable candidates? To Jans and Jana.
Yes, and Jana, do you want to start first? Then?
All right. Yeah, so within the SETC, we've had the chance of working on a bunch of events. I myself have worked mostly on the consulting, the SEI and the finance events. So some of the big events that we did pull off was obviously the Finance Club Fiesta with SEI and the ESG investing one, as well as the DBS one. There are a bunch of others as well, but I'd just pass it on to Jay for him to take it over.
Yeah, like 2 things for me. One is the moderating and being actually up there with the speakers and facilitating that discussion. Like being next to very kind of experienced, knowledgeable folks, no comparison in terms of like the learning experience. The other is like talking to people after, right, during the campaigning week and otherwise just casually like, hey, how'd you guys find that event? What are your feedback? And we got some pretty good I guess, suggestions from folks like, oh, like maybe we should actually swap the live Q&A for networking rooms or breakout rooms, things like that. So top two.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, guys. Do we have any questions for the finance candidates? We do have a few more minutes. MBA office?
Hey, Fred, can I just jump in? I would like to hear Hashim's and Manok's pair response to my question as well. Thank you.
Sorry, what was your question? What was your question?
So it was about the recruitment events targeted at internship. How would you help a PT student move into a finance function?
Is it only towards the address towards the PT students? What we've decided is that we're going to build an information database, first of all, which is going to have all these recruitment jobs for everyone. For example, the first section will be all the job postings listed in finance, suited for every field like private equity, fintech, corporate finance, and all those other spectrums. And the second function in that database will be providing information. Like, for example, somebody is going to give in an interview. So we will provide him with all the industry trends and news that would help him stay updated with the industry. And lastly, we will also have another portal which would allow you to network with people in that. It would have a list of all the names. For example, asset management. We would have like 12 people from the asset management industry with their LinkedIn profiles, and you could easily reach out to them and create networks and get yourself referred for better employment opportunities.
Also, part-time students usually have the biggest network because they come in with jobs in hand and network in hand. So making an amalgam of their network along with the full-time network is something that has not really been done yet, I guess.
Okay, guys. Election committee has a question. Can you name 3 specific events you have planned for the year?
So we have some events in our pipeline, like workshops, particularly for technical skills, like Python, or because the best event by far that I've witnessed so far in the NUS MBA is the Power BI. So something similar to that, developing a technical skill to a basic ability, at least in like a couple of hours, is something very important. Besides that, also a collaboration with the tech sector, tech club to focus on the fintech sector, and also a collaboration with Entrepreneurship Club to look into opportunities beyond just VCs and looking to entrepreneurial opportunities in the finance space.
Yeah, so for us, firstly, we want to definitely plan something around the lines of self-discovery, because that's a big part of our manifesto. So for anyone who's new to finance, to kind of gain an understanding of the different aspects of finance. So obviously we'll have speakers come in and speak about different aspects for a certain amount. We were planning something on the lines of it. It'll probably come to execution now. The second thing is we want to do something on a mock-up portfolio management sort of a thing, because we do understand a lot of people are interested in it. So creating a mock stock exchange and running by those lines would be something we want to.
No, Kabir. It was what events they're planning to do. All right, guys. Any more questions from the floor? Or office, staff, faculty, if you're in the house?
All good. Thanks, Brad.
Okay, hi guys. I have a quick question. So what do you think is the biggest conflict between the parties? So the pairs, do you have any conflict so far? And how do you handle this?
Yeah, hey Alex, that's a great question, but I just want to make sure I understood it completely. So you're asking what the major differences between the two platforms, or can you elaborate a little bit?
I'm asking what's the biggest conflict?
Has there been any conflicts between, team members? And what's the biggest conflict so far?
So like between me and Sanjana, or like Hashim and Manoj, right? You mean that? To be honest, no, there hasn't been any. Like, one of the reasons why Sanjana and I were interested in running with each other, because we talked casually before, we've kind of built that friendship beforehand and that working relationship, and we knew we're generally along the same lines in terms of the things we value, things like diversity, full cohort inclusion, things like that, as well as kind of we complement each other really well. Like Sanjana is more focused on those like heavily technical, like I invest in banking, private equity rules. And I'm more kind of like the sales guy who likes being in front of clients and so on. So no conflict.
It's the same here with me and Manoj. If you look at the financial equation, I'm from the debt side and Manoj here is from the equity side. So we bring a mix of the both of sides of the equation. So I believe we'll be able to better serve everyone involved.
And prior to bringing out a candidacy, we did have a discussion about our visions for the club and the upcoming events. And there was a real sync in that whole pipeline that we had planned together.
Okay, guys, thank you. We're going to move on right now. So thanks, finance candidates. We're going to move on to healthcare. First up, we have Ruby. Ruby, you have 30 seconds.
Hi everyone, I'm Ruby and I'm from Vietnam. And actually, I have a big passion for healthcare. I have like more than 10 years studying and working in healthcare industries with a different company like Kansai or Siemens. And the reasons I ran for the president of healthcare club is that I want to inspire people to grow the interest in healthcare industries. And together, I believe we can build your career path in healthcare. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ruby. Next up, we have Monica. You have 30 seconds.
Hello. Okay. Hello, I'm Monica. I'm experienced in healthcare industry, and my job was mainly focused on business based on medical science. And I'm running for the leadership because I want to increase the awareness of healthcare industry among our cohorts. And I'd like to make the healthcare industry more visible and accessible. And let us work together to make the healthcare club for all of us. Thank you.
Excellent. Next up, we have Catherine. Catherine, you have 30 seconds.
Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine, and my focus for the Healthcare Club are twofold. The first is to broaden people's perspectives about this industry. And second is to help to ensure that for people who are going into this industry, that they have the tools they need to succeed. And if I was elected, I will leverage my background and experience in healthcare to benefit the club. And also, I will gather input from you to make sure that the activities are tailored to your needs. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. Okay, we will now take questions for Healthcare Club. Any questions from the floor? Okay, we have Purnima.
Hi, guys. So I have one question for you, and I have Avik has a question for you. I'm going to ask on his behalf later. So first from me is, what kind of events or activities have you guys planned to interest people not originally from the healthcare industry?
Yeah, can I take the question first? Actually, I plan to have some kind of networking events, and I also intend to approach other clubs like finance or tech, for example. So we can have people in the healthcare clubs to know more about the different functions of healthcare companies. And secondly, I want to keep the inspiration from Monica. From the Purnima and Avik. So we can increase our people to engage people with the knowledge serious for healthcare. And also I will connect people with the alumni who are put in healthcare industry. So, they can guide people. So even you know nothing about healthcare, so you can get the help from us and from the people from like alumni student as well. Yeah, so that's my plan.
And just,
Yep.
And just adding on to, just adding on to what Ruby had already mentioned, something else that for the action plan. So first of all, the action plan is based on two pillars. The first one is to explore and engage. And one of the activities involved in this pillar is to develop speaker series and also panel discussions. And for this one, we plan to not only involve industrial experts and alumni, but also as well as students from our current cohort as well. We think that not only this will promote peer-to-peer knowledge sharing, but at the same time, it will help us to connect and also learn from each other, and also kind of realize the value that is already existing in the current student body.
Okay, so first of all, I think that I'm planning to build a session which is called Healthcare Ecosystem 101, because I want to introduce the people who is not from the healthcare about the ecosystem of this industry. And besides, apart from the formal sessions such as panel discussion, I'm going to host some informal events such as having lunch together with our healthcare members, because anyway, you are gonna have a lunch or have a dinner, and why not join us? And I think we can gain more information about this industry by chatting with people in a more relaxed environment.
Thanks, guys. Okay, I'm going to read one more question. This is from Avik. Healthcare is a niche club in terms of member size and career interests. Given this, what is your strategy to take the clubs to new heights? We're going to give you 2 minutes for the whole section. Yep.
Okay, so I was gonna answer first, because if you can notice the post-MBA employment report for the batch of 2019, you can notice that now healthcare ranks the 3rd position, even surpassing the consulting. So I think that this drives me to think about that we have the responsibility and the passion to attract more of our cohorts about the awareness of this industry, and to help them to transform their career. And besides, I think that we can, for example, we can share more case competition information, because the case competition not only require people from the healthcare background, but they also require talents from like finance, consulting, or other industries. So we can work together to make the healthcare more impact.
Can I go next? Sorry, Catherine. So for me, I think because I'm kind of person who's use the data. So the first thing I do is that I will have a survey for everyone for our cohort. Of course, I can't do it by myself alone. So I really hope that people who stick here today, you can have me to, or maybe Monica or Catherine, to fill that form, so we can know what exactly you want from healthcare industries. And the second thing is that after got the surveys, I will work with other clubs, as I said, and we will see like with the opportunities for people. I mean, without the background in healthcare, to go inside this industries. And I know, maybe at first, you may see that it's very hard to go into, but actually you see we have a lot of people got success with it, and I really hope that you will love it, like we are here in the healthcare club. And so to do that, actually I see that in our cohort there are around like 20% of both part-time and full-time students have the healthcare background. So we will have each other, and as I said, like the knowledge series will be the keys, and yeah, I hope it's going to help for our cohort. Thank you.
So I think just adding on to what both Monica and Ruby already mentioned, I think the focus will be kind of exposing students to more of the current industrial trends in healthcare. And in terms of the action plan, we plan on doing this by potentially developing some new activities, including career tracks and also inviting current industrial experts to provide us more information about the wide variety of different areas in healthcare. So these include things like consultancy, technology firms, startups, medical devices, and so forth, because healthcare is indeed a very broad area, and it covers a wide variety of functionalities. And one other thing that we can also do is by collaborating with other MBA clubs, so that way we can develop more interest in some of the overlapping areas.
Excellent. Okay, we do have like 4 more minutes, so I'm gonna ask Catherine, between two of the candidates for president, who in your opinion would make the best president and why? You must pick one.
Oh, I must pick one. Okay. Not a difficult question at all. I think if I was to pick one, it would probably be the person who is more dedicated towards really, identifying the needs of our current student cohorts and working to make sure that those needs are being met. So, these includes gathering feedback from the current students, and also identifying what their interests are, and then further developing the types of events that are specifically aligned with those needs. So I hope that answers the question.
Catherine, sorry, was that my question? I don't think I heard a name.
I think if I was to really pick one, just based on what we discussed, I think I heard from Ruby that she did mention that, she's going to be gathering feedback and input from the student cohort. So I think just from that aspect, Ruby.
Thank you for your answer. So guys, do we have any more questions from the floor? If not, we shall move on. Is MBA office here? No one from MBA? Eileen, do you have any questions?
Right, maybe I'll just ask one question
Yay.
for the healthcare club. So I've noticed because Punima and Avik, which is the healthcare club leaders, you guys talk all about knowledge sharing. Yeah, and in order to entice, say for example, students from non-healthcare background to be interested and to really catch on all the different knowledge and all that, Punima and Arvid actually had like a series of like linking, sharings, and all that on actually a weekly basis, I think, sharing such information and all that. So I'm not expecting you guys like do the same and all that, but you guys mentioned knowledge sharing. All right, the three of you all mentioned that. So I'm really interested to know in terms of knowledge sharing, how are you guys gonna like do this besides just through like, for example, events? Because events, you do it like once a week or maybe like once in a while and stuff like that. But knowledge sharing, this kind of thing should be a constant kind of engagement. How do you guys envision it? You guys will be able to do that to the cohort. I hope that's not tough.
Can I go first?
Sure.
Actually, thanks, Ellen. It's tough question, actually. Yeah, and as I said, like I got some experience in our healthcare companies, and actually I'm also the trainer, and my target is some of them never worked in healthcare industry before. So what I did is that like I do some kind of training sessions, but it's not like events. It's not like maybe just like 20 minutes sharing or something. So here I think I just thinking like I can do it with like if I'm selected, I can do it like 20 minutes per week, for example. Just to share with each other and maybe have some quiz or something to attract people. Yeah.
Okay, guys,
Yeah.
we have to move on to the next section. Sorry, Monica.
It's okay.
All right. Thanks, Eileen, for the question. Okay, guys, next club, the last club I'm hosting for tonight, marketing club. So first up, we have, it's only one team, so Take it away, guys. 1 minute.
Hi guys, I'm Saloni, a full-time student. While Frederica talks more about our backgrounds, I want to elaborate on our motivation and driving principle. After years of working in this industry, one unfortunate truth keeps glaring at us: the increasing lack of traction towards marketing across age groups, so undergraduates and postgraduates like us. We truly want to change that. We truly want to make marketing great again. Hell, we are no Trump. We don't want to be, but we'll surely try better to make marketing great again for our cohort.
Hi, I'm Federica from the part-time cohort running for the vice president position. Both Saloni and I have close to 6 years of experience in marketing. Saloni is from the B2C and me from B2B. So our diverse background brings a comprehensive depiction of the marketing profile landscape. So together we aim to provide a holistic experience to our members, covering a wide range of functions related to marketing and even commercial.
All right, guys, Q&A section. Catherine, are you here, Catherine? Oh, okay, so Alex will ask a question on behalf of Catherine.
Okay, hi guys, I have a question from Cass. So the fact that so many people in the last year cohort, they understand that marketing club is just focused on topic related to the marketing, only such as promotion, digital marketing, and that's why they didn't register marketing club at the first place. So, but in fact, we will do more topics than that. By forcing this situation, what can you do to improve this situation?
I'll start with that, and Frederica, you can add on. So this year, we both had discussed that we'll take an inside-out approach rather than an outside-in approach, which essentially means that we would like to do coffee chats or Zoom calls with each of the members and understand their knowledge level. Since we both have a lot of experience in marketing, both B2B and B2C, we want to understand the knowledge level of our members, club members, and then want to plan the calendar accordingly.
Yeah, so just to add on to what Saloni has mentioned, we are also looking at other activities such as masterclass as well, case study sharing, and even, like she has mentioned, networking sessions. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, we'll take Steve's question.
Yeah, hey guys. So for me personally, I think there's a sort of a perception that marketing is just a lot of soft skills. So I was wondering, maybe you guys have any plans to equip the cohort with more technical skills to be able to succeed in this space?
Thank you for your question, Steve. And I'm glad you asked that, because we just said we want to make marketing great again. And it's beyond selling, and it's beyond soft skills. We were in fact discussing that we too, both of us, can do workshops if the club members are interested about brand architecture, brand archetypes, and these are really core subjects of marketing. So yeah, we have a lot planned which will go beyond selling.
Yeah, so maybe I can add on as well. Actually, for marketing, it's not just about branding as well. Some of us might be interested in market research, which is a very technical background. So if possible, we would like to engage partners which are into market research as well, so we can impart some technical skills for our cohort.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Hey guys, for this segment, we actually have 10 minutes left, but I don't know what questions to ask you guys in 10 minutes. So you have 1 minute to market yourself to us in a different way than your video submission.
Okay.
I'll give you 10 more seconds.
Okay.
Before I start counting down.
Wait, just before you start counting, as in 1 minute, 30 each, or just get it straight?
1 minute as a group.
Okay, sure.
Ready? 1 minute starts now.
Marketing is all about consumer first. And as I've worked as a brand strategy director in the past, which essentially means stalking people. It sounds fancy, but it means stalking people. So I think I place a lot of importance on consumer sentiments and consumer culture. And that is what you'll see that will be different. The approach will be different, and it'll be very consumer centric this time. Frederica?
Yes, indeed, consumer centric. But every time, I have mentioned before in the past, it's not only just about what you want to do, but who you are targeting to. You can be from finance, you can be from anywhere. It's about pitching an idea to your customer, to your client. So marketing definitely plays in a way. Join us.
Not bad, guys. Not bad at all. I'll take Mossam's question from the chat. You've mentioned that you plan to have coffee chats and Zoom calls with all the members. This year, the club has 54 members. Do you plan to talk to each member? And do you also plan to talk to the members from the January 21 intake?
I can take that. Okay, sure. The way we are going to do it, probably in terms of logistic, the way we will do it is that we will have a few sessions. So it will be very casual. We want to keep things casual because people tell what they are thinking easily when things are casual and more personal. So people can come in. There will be a few sessions available. People can just drop in at different timing and share with us what they plan to learn from the marketing club. I hope that answered the questions.
Yeah. Excellent. The quicker you answer questions, the more questions you get. So next question from Alex.
Bring on.
Oh yeah, sorry guys. Maybe you didn't hear my question clearly. That's why your answer is not clear to us as well. So the question is like a lot of people of the marketing club, they only thinking about promotion and digital marketing. But actually last year they did a lot of more topics than this. You know, how to trigger the customers, how to do the all the things. But how do you want to change this year? So what will be your plan, the executive plan? How do you like do everything all the people are looking for? You know, helping all the companies to do marketing, something like myself. So I'm a new marketing manager. So how do you help me to make my company successful?
Okay, so
do you want to go? Should I go?
Yeah, go ahead, Saloni.
So from what I'm understanding, you said that you did cover a lot of events in the past, which focused on different events, and how do you help people across different stages of their career? With this whole inside out approach, we want to start from, we want to cover from, as Federica mentioned, market research to product development and so on. And we also wish to, with the coffee chats, intent of the people and the members, and whether it's progression or career shift or just gaining more knowledge, and accordingly the calendar will be planned throughout and hopefully across the brand life cycle from market research to sales.
Okay, we'll take the next question from Pedro.
Hey, thank you. Guys, I think like marketing fundamentally has an issue as an understanding or even like the possibilities for a career, not specifically for our cohort, but like overall. And funny enough, marketing is one of the main industries here in Singapore that has been hiring the most. So I think like, how would you plan then to create that awareness for us students? And even like, not only from a job standpoint, but I think like first, like awareness of the industry and the possibilities for the job market. And then I think like from there, people will have definitely like more traction.
Yeah, okay, I can take that, Saloni. Yeah, so Pedro, you raised a very good point of it. Actually, marketing exists everywhere across a different industry, whether it's in banking or whether it's in healthcare. So the first thing, again, we have mentioned is to take an inside-out approach to understand which are the industry that the cohort is interested in, as well as the members. Then we can plan and collaborate accordingly with the different clubs to explore the different areas in marketing within different industries. I hope that answers your questions. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Pedro. Next, we'll have Amit.
Hey, thank you, Fred. So, congrats in advance, Saloni and Federica, for taking the marketing position. But I wanted to know, like, what are your plans in collaborating with the technology club? Because there are many technological marketing jobs like the product marketing, technical sales, and all. And how will you be focusing on that, and how will you be collaborating with the technology club?
So there's an event coming up next week, which is third-party cookies, and that could ideally have been a collaboration. But we plan to do more in lines with that. For example, there is that also covers Pedro's question, which is data scientists. That's quite upcoming in the communications agency, which covers a lot of data mining and also communications. So yes, we will explore such roles and we will collaborate with the technology club accordingly.
Thank you. Amit, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I was expecting a bit more specific, but yeah, it was a bit general, but it's okay. Yeah, as the time passes by, we'll be coming up with more ideas and helping you.
I will get back to you.
Sure.
Most probably 1 minute is a bit too much, like bit too short, and I have to be generic, but I will get back to you on details.
Sure, no worries. Thank you.
Okay, guys, do we have any more questions? No questions from the floor? No questions, guys? Because if there's those questions, I'm just going to be staring at the camera for the next 5 minutes. There we go, Fred.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask one question. I think on behalf of some of the sales guys in the cohort, I think there's been some conversations going on in the WhatsApp group. Is there a plan that marketing group is going to go across beyond marketing to involve more sales and business development persons? If yes, how are you going to achieve that? Thank you.
Yep, I can take that because I came from a B2B background. I work very closely with the commercial team, so I understand that. And most of the time, people who are doing MBA or people who are in the sales, they are thinking that why do they do an MBA? So I think most importantly, as a marketing club, we have to cover this aspect to showcase or to get speakers onto our events to show that, you know, with an MBA, how you can further your career in the sales, in the commercial, and especially when commercial is the lifeline of every company. So yeah, that's one of the ways we can look at it, which is to get speakers from the commercial with an MBA background. Yes, Daryl.
Wait, hang on, guys. I think we have another pair running for marketing. Is this what I'm hearing? Last minute addition? I'm just kidding. Just Daryl, go ahead.
We would actually like competition, so please guys.
Come on, Daryl.
Okay, thank you so much. And so far it's been great hearing from you guys. I kind of want to understand, I mean, because I studied marketing in my undergrad, and then, but then I didn't really go into marketing. So I just want to understand, right? You know, I hear from you guys, there's a lot of passion, but why is marketing important for us? Why should we, you know, be interested in marketing?
I can take this. Okay, I will take this more as a casual aspect. We have been talking about it as a professional career, but marketing is not just about what you do at your work, but also how you can be a consumer to make better judgment. Because when you understand marketing better, when you look at a product, when you look at a service, when you look at investing in a certain companies, it actually changes the way you judge their business, whether to invest or whether to buy their product. So it's not just about your professional, but also as a consumer yourself, right?
It's the same, the way we are learning finance, the way we are learning economics and operations. We are going to use those skills at marketing, at our jobs. Similarly, there are a lot of marketing skills that you can use across industries.
And that concludes Marketing Club. Thanks, guys. Big round of applause.
Thank you.
All right, I'll be handing over the hosting to Kabir, who's joining us from NYC. Good morning, Kabir.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We are pretty much just crossed the halfway mark, so we'll press on and we'll move on to Tech Club. All right. So for Tech Club, we have 3 pairs running today. And can we start with the first pair, who is Steve and Sherry, please?
All right. So hi, everyone. My name is Steve, and Sherry and I are running for the Tech Club leadership position. I've spent the last few years working in Southeast Asia's tech unicorns. And I've spent the last few months organizing various Tech Club SETC events, including the Club Fiesta and also the blockchain event, which Sherry and I actually organized together. Our spirit of leadership would be to empower and serve the cohort to be able to adapt to the ever-changing world of technology. Sherry?
Hi, I'm Cherry. I worked in bank for 7 years, leading fintech projects and digital transformation. We are devoted to serve the cohort and help you transform in tech industry. We plan to organize skills workshops, career coaching, tech recruitment, and also collaboration with fintech organizations in Asia. We are determined to help you transform into a tech leader of tomorrow. Launch your transformation with us.
All right, thank you very much. So the next pair we have is Akshay and Hai Long. Can we have Akshay and Hai Long, please? Give us your introductions.
Hello, I'm Akshay, and I'm really passionate about how technology can impact people's lives. After engineering, I joined a small fintech startup or a Fortune 500 company, and it wasn't an easy decision. I believed and felt the mission of Keto to uplift society through its technology and social fintech product. The passion is what helped me rise from an intern to heading partnerships at Asia's largest crowdfunding platform. And I know all about unconventional changes and would love to make your journeys easier along with Hai Long, who shares the same vision as me.
So, hi everyone, my name is Hai Long. So something that nobody would ever guess about me is that I was rejected by Google 3 times before I got in. And because of that experience, I would like to make the journey easier for everyone and make sure that nobody feels the same way ever again. I'm currently a digital marketing expert at Google. I was formerly a technology and startup advisor as a management consultant.
All right, thank you, Akshay and Hai Long. Let's move on to the final pair right now, who is Udit and Chen Dong. Can we have Udit and Chen Dong give us your introductions, please?
Can you hear me? Hi everyone.
Yes,
Hi everyone. My name is Udit. I've been working in tech over the past 7 years in multiple roles. I'm passionate about technology and believe in the transformational power of technology for problem solving. If elected, I look forward to serving our cohort with dedication and zeal as Tech Club president.
Hi everyone, I'm Qian. I have been working in tech industry for 6 years, specifically in fintech and e-commerce. I wish to leverage my knowledge and contacts to help our cohort launch into tech. And I'm reaching out to tech firms, recruiters, and alumni to collect and forward job opportunities for our cohort. Hope we can do more in the future. Thank you.
All right. Very much. So with your introductions done, we'll move on to the Q&A part of this session. So any questions from the floor, please, or if we have our great tech club leader, Ankita, here today, if she has any questions. All right, we see some hands up. So we'll start with Adi.
You were mute, but I assume you say Alejandro. So my question is for Akshay and Hai Long. It is, what will be your value proposition for part-time students, for the part-time cohort?
Thank you, Alejandro. So I'll be taking this question. So our 3D framework makes sure that we have something for everybody, regardless of their stage. So we developed this with both the FT and especially the PT in mind. Looking for a job, we have Dash event. Looking for upskill, we have develop events. If you just want to know more, we have discover events. On top of that, I want to highlight that we don't just target breaking into tech, but also for people already in tech to advance. And being a PT myself, I empathize and resonate with the PT cohort and their challenges, from the simplest thing like event timing or event scheduling. And beyond these plans, I personally refer and coach over 10 professionals into Google. And that is why I am confident I can contribute and add value as the leader of the tech club.
I'd also like to add that because of the lack of internship for PT, I mean, there is a certain amount of gap in terms of changing roles. Right. So we do want to have the cross networking enabled across the PT and full-time cohort. That would help everyone know about the roles more.
All right, thank you. We have to move on to the next question. So can we have Liu Jin, please?
Yeah, thanks. So I think the question is really that how do you plan to help your cohort launch into the tech industry, and what is your implementation plan? Thank you.
Then we can take this one. So number one, we're definitely going to be really proactive in making sure we capture everyone's interest through surveys, but also through one-on-one meetings with people, both full-time and part-time, to get their preferences and interests. Second, we're going to be really proactive in referring people, experts or people to be able to network with personally. So if they can't make it to events, they still be able to break into the space. And third, we actually have a tech job coaching event planned already, talking to one of our friends who has a contact who's worked in a big bunch of the tech companies. And this would be something that we would do for both the full-times and part-times with different schedules to help them break into the space and learn more.
I would also love to take a stab at this question. Sorry that like we both started at the same time. So we have a very solid framework, which Hailong mentioned, the 3D framework, Discover, Develop, Dash. We have exciting events lined up for everyone. So under the Discover category, we have a peer-to-peer buddy program, which is going to cater to fostering deep bonds between the.
All right, sorry, we ran out of time for that response. We do have a question in the chat, but before we move on to that question, let's hear from Shruti first, and then we'll move on to the question in the chat. Shruti.
Thank you, Kabir. So the question that I have for all the pairs is that, tech will act as an intersection for all of the entire club ecosystem, right? So I was just wondering, what is your vision to integrate with other clubs? Because I'm sure you guys will have a lot of demand. Everybody would want to coordinate and create events with you. So I'm really interested to see what are your thoughts on this matter.
I would love to take this if possible.
If you don't mind.
Go ahead, Akshay. I think you did talk about tech and social, so yeah, why not?
Yeah. So, just on these lines, me and Hailong really thought it through and talked to the MBA Programmes Office, and we thought of coming up with a case competition, an intercollegiate case competition among all the best colleges in Singapore. And we really thought that we can do this in collaboration with the consulting club. And what we realized is we need to come up with a very strong value proposition, not only for the students, but also for the company. For instance, if Google is going to sponsor this case competition, there needs to be a very solid value add for them. And Hailong is spoken in Google as well. And we think that we are confident we can deliver something on these.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Shruti, for your question and candidates for your answer. All right, so the next question is from the chat, and this is for every team. So the question is: there are so many pairs running for Tech Club. Can you tell us what differentiates you from the other teams that are running? And in the interest of time, can we have each team only 30 seconds to answer this question? Thank you.
Okay, can I take this one? So actually for our team, both Steve and I have organized events during the STTC and Fiesta, including one joint event. So actually we worked with each other very closely from the very beginning. And we have hands-on experience in event management, and we work very closely with the tech club leaders and also the STTC members. So we know how the logistics and the communication work. And also, we want to launch a very special mentorship program between the full-timers and part-timers, so we can leverage our own skills, background, and experience. And
all right, that was 30 seconds. Can we have the next team respond, please? Thank you.
Sure. So on my and Jan's side, we want to first of all increase the knowledge base and get people more involved with the different tech roles that are available today, because these have changed over the past several years. Second, we want to create centralized resources for both the knowledge sharing as well as careers information. And we want to work with these careers to highlight some tech roles, which right now get jumbled up and bundled together in the general email blast. Also, we want to do cross-networking.
All right, sorry, Udit, that was 30 seconds. Can we have the last team respond, please? Thank you.
What differentiates us from others is that we are a blend of a big tech professional and.
Hello. I think actually.
Hello. Yeah. What differentiates us is that we are a blend of a big tech professional in Hailong and me from a startup industry. We have very strong connects in our respective industries. We want to focus on the synergy and inclusivity of the full-time and the part-time MBA cohort and make it truly the NUS MBA, not the NUS FT or PT MBA. Beyond that, I've navigated the tech ladder from an intern to head.
All right, thank you, Akshay, for your response. We have to move on to the next question. All right, for the next question, can we have Ankita ask the next question, please, as current leader of the Tech Club?
Thanks, Kabir. Yeah. All right. I have a few questions, actually. So a couple of questions. So I hope the candidates are ready. So my first question is for Sherry. So Sherry, in your term in the STTC, we observed that you focused a lot of your attention to the fintech space, and you focused your network within this sector in your manifesto as well. So who amongst the running candidates for the Finance Club do you think would be best suited to support your effort to expand the cohort's awareness of the fintech space, and why?
From the Finance Club, in my opinion, that would be Jay, because I know Jay has experience in finance and also in fintech. So he has hands-on experience. So I think that would be a good collaboration with the Tech Club and also the Finance Club. And I look forward to more events in the future for the fintech topic. And actually, we have also participated in the blockchain event together. So that's a good example to show the synergy between those two clubs. Thank you.
All right, Ankita, do you have another question?
Thank you, Sherry. Yes. So this question goes to Udit and Qiandong. So any of you can answer this. So one of the aspects of your vision is to connect. You mentioned that you aspire to expand the cohort's network by engaging alumni and source for internship and full-time opportunities. Given that both of you as running candidates are new to Singapore, how do you intend to grow your own networks so that you can bring in relevant contacts for the cohort? One of the first things you've also mentioned that you would be targeting are internship opportunities for full-time students. Have you thought about a concrete plan on how you can support with recruitment opportunities locally in Singapore? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I'll take this. And actually, I have talked with the current club leaders. They didn't have many local resources or found many job opportunities in the beginning, but they leveraged their own connection and alumni networking, collecting lots of interns and jobs for their cohort. So we'll do the same thing. For example, me and Woody, we have worked in tech industry for more than 6 years. We accumulate rich experience and contacts in tech industry. Like myself, I worked as a CEO assistant before. I will invite some founders or executives from diverse tech fields to provide first-hand information about some specific technology in sector, and bringing better mindset to prepare us interviews and bringing more job opportunities beyond this career. Thank you.
Thank you. Just wondering which leaders you're referring to. Both Oliver and myself as current tech club leaders are actually from Singapore. So we do have a pretty wide network.
I connected with Felix.
All right, maybe we can give the time to someone.
All right, thank you, Ankita. All right, so we do have a question in the chat, but before we move on to that question, I think Jo has been waiting for a while, so we'll let Jo ask his question next.
Hey guys, yeah, so I want to ask the candidates, we heard a lot of great ideas coming out of each team. I'm curious, but each line often starts with, we want to do this, we envision this. Curious if you guys have spoken to any of the members, because you guys are one of the biggest club, if not the biggest club. And what you've heard from them, if so, in terms of like what they want, what their vision is, and so on.
Yeah, I can get started on this one. So I've heard a couple things I want to highlight. Number one, actually 40% of our part-timers are actually from different parts of the tech industry. So from that, we want to leverage and do sharing sessions between full-time and part-time to be able to mutually equip and benefit each other. We also heard that health is a really big thing that's been growing because of COVID. And so we also want to focus more on like health tech and more of those new innovations that come in. And third, of course, we have a sizable population that is still breaking into tech and have no background in it. So of course, discovery events and coaching events and mentorship is going to be really important in that regards. And that's why we want to focus on that.
Maybe I part of shot at this question as well. So based on what I know and as well as the interaction with the cohort, a lot of people actually find technology industry in general a black box. Simply because when you talk about tech, you think about data, you think about analysis, but however, tech is more than that. There's a role for everyone. And being in tech myself, I know how to navigate the scenario, the landscape, and hence what I would like to bring is to make sure to highlight those opportunities to the cohort through mentorship program, peer-to-peer partnership, as well as industry sharing and experts. For example, if you want a place in supply chain, there will be a place for you. If you want to be a place in marketing, there is a place for you. If you want to be in sales, there's also a place in tech for you. So that's what I would like to highlight.
Yeah, I'd also like to reiterate that, we want to help you discover the tech role across multiple industries that you want to be in, right? So to do that, you need to know what are the tech roles that are there. And that's one of the items that we've sort of gotten as a feedback. A lot of people who are new, they don't know about what is available in the tech industry. So that's going to be a focus as well.
All right, thank you. We have to move on to the next question, please. We'll read out a question from the chat, and that is from Mosam. The question is, what is one unique event that you're planning that was not organized by the previous council?
So yeah, I want to double down on a previous answer I gave on Tech Club coaching. So we did talk to one of our fellow cohort members who knows someone who's also an NUS alum, who's working a lot of the big tech companies and now works in Lazada in Thailand, who also has a YouTube channel dedicated to tech coaching education. So that's actually the kind of event we want to do to start off. Is a tech coaching interactive session on like what do you have to prepare for? What are the interview questions? How do you succeed in the space? And make it something accessible to full-time, part-time, and also veterans in tech and also newbies in tech. So yeah, JJ, if you're listening, thank you for the suggestion. Hopefully we can follow through with that in the future.
I would say one of the main things that we are going to try and do that was not done before is going to be, as I said, focus on the role-related events. So we're going to have people from diverse industries. We're going to work with different clubs to get those people who use technology on a daily basis, right, as part of their roles. And we're going to expose them to the cohort so that they can understand where these different tech roles are coming from, what is needed for them, what they should focus on.
I would just like to add that there are three key initiatives that we want to bring new to the cohort. First is the peer-to-peer buddy program, which we talked about. Second is the mentorship program, which will pair an industry veteran and take that veteran will take students under their wing throughout the MBA journey and guide them. The third program that we want to do is a collaboration with the CSO office for better prioritization and communication to MBA students regarding the roles.
All right, thank you for your responses. We have to move on to the next question. In the interest of time and to cover all bases, I think Ankita has a question for one or two specific candidates. So can we have Ankita raise the question, please?
Hi again, guys. So I think to be fair, I'd also like to address a question with Akshay and Hailong. So could you both please elaborate on how you plan to deliver the interview playbook that you described in your manifesto, and why do you think this is essential?
Okay, Hailong, you can.
Hey, thanks, actually. Let me so for the interview playbook, simply because I have a lot of friends in the big tech, so simply the FANG, and normally the interview process is very structured. And because you need to know about the role and you need to know about what they are looking for. And that is exactly what we are looking to tackle. What are the quality that people are looking for? What are they looking for in the CV? And we are looking to compile from industry expert, from my own experience as well, and from the people who are currently within the tech, within our cohort. That is how we intend to deliver the playbook. And from then on, we would like to know that there are many roles available. Each of them, we want to highlight what are the skills required and what should you put on your CV. So these are the points that I would like to deliver to the cohort so that each of us has that confidence walking into the interview.
I would just like to add, it's a cheat book to get into your dream company, and we'll have detailed debriefs from people working in those companies. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and that just about concludes this section, I think. Okay, so we are at 7:55 now, so we do have to move on to the next section. So thank you to all the Tech Club candidates for your responses and for your introductions, and all the best for the election. Okay, we have to move on to the part-time liaisons now. So can we first have Alejandro provide us with your introduction, please? Alejandro, are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, you can proceed. Yeah.
Well, hi everyone. So my name is Alejandro. I'm a part-timer, obviously. I'm from Spain originally. Sorry, but my Zoom is
I think we lost Alejandro.
All right, that's okay. How about we just move on to the next candidate,
Yeah, we'll come back.
first, and if Alejandro manages to, yeah, we'll come back.
Hi everyone. Good evening, everyone. Sorry, can I start? Yeah. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Yu Jing, and I currently work in Vision Fund, hosting third-party debt for 28 microfinance institutions worldwide. So I'm here to contest for the position of the PT liaison. I believe that we will connect and represent our diverse part-time cohort well, because I work in a variety of organizations such as professional service firm, NGO, startup, and MMC. I'm well-versed working in multicultural environments. So I believe I'll be able to represent our cohort well. And I've also worked a lot with the full-time cohort in running events such as the Fiesta, as well as the Impact for Finance event. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Yu Jing. Alejandro, if you are back with us, would you like to?
Yeah, so sorry, I don't know what happened to my Zoom. Anyway, so yes, my name is Alejandro. I'm originally from Spain. I have been in Singapore for the last 5 years. I work in sales for a British company. I'm also the head of the Singapore office. I'm a part-time student, and that's why I'm applying for the part-time liaison role. And that's all. That's pretty much it.
All right, thank you. So we'll move on straight to the Q&A section. So if we have any questions from the floor, let's start with the current students, especially the current part-time students, if any of you have. Okay, can we start with Stacey?
So yeah, so since you have already started for almost a month, right? Is there some already, do you have some ideas already that you want to suggest to the school if you're elected? Yeah.
Are you asking to me or to Shuni?
Or Alejandro, maybe to you. Yeah, since you're asking.
All right. So yeah, I have some ideas. I didn't include it on my manifesto because I was scared, that it get banned by the election committee. So yes, I have some ideas. One of them is that I think that the school should give more flexibility to part-timers to select modules during daytime with the full-time students. I want to see more exchange opportunities for part-time students. We have many part-time students who want to go on exchange, but they cannot. We are not allowed to do that. And third, I have it here. We have a bit of a problem with the business career events, which most of them are organized during the daytime when we are working, and it's very difficult for us to attend those events. So I would like to have these events organized on weekends or in the evening.
Yeah. Is there time for me to answer the question? Because I saw a 10-second out.
We don't have any hands up, so we'll allow you to have 1 minute for this.
Yeah, sure. Stacey, thanks for the question. I mean, for fear of echoing what Alejandro said, I think the PT liaison, you sit on an EXCO, but you do not just, represent the needs of the part-time cohort, but you also look at what the whole cohort needs. And I think one of it is some of the things that I'm thinking of is, first of all, maybe looking to work with the Programmes Office about the fact that we do not have an MBA room. I think that's a very important networking space for us. The second one is basically the fact that a lot of career events are being held at full-time, and a lot of us wants to attend career events and understanding career switch. And a lot of it, I think, will have to come from working with previous cohorts and understanding who has successfully done career switch, and a lot of experience sharing in that area as well. Thanks, Stacey.
All right, thank you. All right, any other questions from the floor? Let's have Jo, please.
Yeah, just a quick question. I'm curious, and you have to excuse me if this is outside the scope of the PT liaison kind of role, but have you guys ever thought about collaborating with the club leaders, regardless of whether they're full-time, part-time, try and get more of the PT kind of participation in events and stuff? And if so, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
I go first, Alejandro. Thanks. So I think that's a really good question, Jay. We want to bring value of the PT cohort to everyone, and it doesn't matter because we are one cohort, right? And I think a lot of times, a lot of the events are held consistently, and they're all being packed, on weekday nights, because we have classes on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, and Saturday mornings and afternoon. So I think a lot of thought needs to be bring into the process of planning events, and also to be spaced out. I understand that this is the period leading up to the elections, but I think that working with the club presidency, we need to take note of time, which is a press factor for us. And number two, I ran the Club Fiesta event, and I also did the Impact for Finance. You can ask my team members. I was there even during working hours to try and bridge the gap. But I recognize that there is a limitation that the part-time students have. So I hope that the club presidency and us can work together to address the concern and to bring the value that the part-time students can. Thank you.
All right, Alejandro, would you like?
Yeah, if I can add. So I think there is a lot we can do with the clubs. I see the clubs as a great opportunity for part-time students and full-time students to network and to know each other and to do a lot of things together. And the main reason is because, this year we have 120 part-time students in middle management, senior management. We have directors, we have VPs working in amazing companies in Singapore, in Google, Microsoft, Amazon, UOB, Apple. I have here a long list. And I really think we part-timers can help you guys, the full-time students, to land a good job in Singapore. In the same way, I think that the full-timers can help the part-timers to have a better MBA experience. So that's why I really believe that, we really need to bring together the two groups of people into one cohort.
All right, very good. Thanks, Alejandro. All right, so we do have time for one last question, and I think Alex has his hand up, so we'll take the last question from Alex, please.
Hi, guys. I have a question about, do you think any reasonable action you can do immediately once you got elected, so our part-time student can enjoy the program a little bit more? So I'm a part-time student as well, right? So I really want to know your immediate plan.
Okay, it's keeping quiet, so I'll go first then. To be honest, itself, we did a survey, Alejandro led the survey, and I helped to edit big part of the survey as well. We really want to understand what our part-time cohort needs. And after that itself, now we know what we need itself. And I think next part is understanding what is action plans that can follow up from this itself. First one would be to understand, I think there's been 3 career events that's been held during working hours. So I think we want to look at them and see the feedback from the part-time students who have been attending the events and see whether is it necessary or is it a good event, that part-time students can commit to coming so that we can work together with the Academics and Programme Office. That's one of them. Second is understanding, like I say, the needs of the program itself. And I think third itself, we want to discuss with the rest of the EXCO and part-time cohort to really understand better. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, if I can add. So I think we started a long time ago. We are not waiting to be elected as the part-time liaison to start doing things for the part-time cohort. We have done many things. For example, now we have started, Xu Jing started to try to get a room for the part-time students, so we can work before in the university before we have class. We have, like Shujin said, we have run some statistics because the university was not collecting statistics for the part-time students. So we wanted to understand, how the part-time students profile looks like. So we did that. Part-time student did it for part-time students, and part-time students got the results. So there is nothing we are gonna do immediately. We have a lot of plans, but we started a long time ago.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so we do not have time for any further questions for this round. So thank you, Alejandro and Xiujing, for your responses and introductions. We do have to move on to the last segment, which is usually the most exciting segment also, which is the President and Vice President of the 39th Student Council. So can we first have Daryl and Pedro running as T and VP to give your introductions, please? Daryl and Pedro.
Okay, do I start? Okay.
Okay, go.
Okay. Hi, I'm Daryl, coming from the nonprofit world, hoping to break into the corporate world. And so most of my background is working with the government, collaborating with corporate partners to create new initiatives and get funding. And so I've always been very different, in case you can't tell, in terms of career path, thought process, point of view. But I've learned that as a leader, being different is a strength, which is why Pedro and I aim to challenge the conventional MBA experience, because the MBA represents an opportunity for you to experiment and gain this unique perspective as a leader.
Hi guys, I'm Pedro. I have 12 years of work experience and I've been leading cross-cultural teams here in Asia for the past 7 years. And I really can't wait to start working mainly in 3 avenues. But first, on how to scale the NUS experience for the entire students. Number 2, how to become a more inclusive and socially responsible leader. And 3, how to enhance job opportunities for all students. So please, hopefully, we'll have more time to answer questions. Feel free to shoot them. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Can we have our next candidates, Atif and Muskan, please, to provide your introduction?
Can you hear me? Okay. I assume that you hear me okay. So, hello everyone. This is Atif from Thailand. I'm running for the position of EXCO President together with my amazing friend from India, running for the position of EXCO Vice President, Muskan.
Thanks, Atif, and hi everyone. This is Muskan here. Thank you for providing this opportunity to serve our cohort and our school as well. I come from an entrepreneurial background and I have served forming around strategies and led the business development roles. In terms of academic leadership positions, I've also had the chance to serve my alma mater by serving and presiding at the council positions and through events as well. Atif?
Yeah, on a similar basis, I also had a leadership background during the school, undergrad, and then I moved forward by myself to be a merger and acquisition tech consultant. I have led and collaborated with individuals coming from over 30 countries around the world, and yes.
So having realized where we can contribute the most, we are here to answer all your questions. Looking forward to a fulfilling journey, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Atif and Muskan. Can we have our final pair, please? Shruti and Fred. The new Fred, not the Fred that you see right now. Just give us a second. Okay,
we are living at a point.
Whenever you're ready.
Sorry. Yeah, we are living at a point of time where the world is living through a powerful collective experience. Never have we been more resilient. Never have the boundaries been so blurred. Never have we been more adaptive. Look at me, I'm in Maldives trying to get to Singapore. And that's why I think even when we graduate, the world is still going to be the VUCA world. So the motto of our campaign and the vision of our campaign is going to be creating a highly inclusive and responsive student council that is led by empathy. Here to explain the yin to my yang, Fred, take it away.
Thanks, Shruti. And Shruti and I had a 3C of a key focus. The first C is connect FT and PT, and even go beyond that with the peer schools. The second C is career, is to focus on the hiring angle with the industry partners to help you land a job or switch your career. The last but not least is to create the social impact to prepare you to be the real future world leader.
We really love the opportunity to service this amazing cohort because we truly believe together we win.
We win.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for the opportunity.
Right. Thank you. All right, so it's Q&A time. So can we have all the candidates on the screen, please? And the last one. We're missing someone on the screen.
It's me. There you go. Thank you.
Yes, there we go. Okay, so as is tradition for this round, the council president and vice president round, we would ask our colleagues from the MBA office to ask the first questions because they will be the people you'll be working most heavily with. So if Eileen and Joan, if you have any questions to start off with, please go ahead.
Okay, hello, hi, good evening, everyone. Joan is not here today, but she has actually shared with me some questions which I'll be asking on behalf. Some really interesting questions. Hope you guys can actually take it on, and each pair to actually, give a short answer. I have 3 questions over here. First question would be to all candidates: what are your plans for bringing the council and the clubs to a higher level? That's my first question.
I can take this very short answer. I think what we want to do is we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to build on what the existing council has already done. And like Fred said, we have the 3 C's that we have. One is to create more sustainable engagement with our industry partners, and think of the hiring angle all the times. And the second bit is to obviously create a more interactive network with our peer school, create a highly diverse and inclusive student council where I think there is more community style of leadership that happens, where everybody gets the opportunity to show leadership. And I think that's one of the main reasons why we join MBA, right? To maximize on all the opportunities and potential to transform.
Yeah, thanks, Rudy. If I could just add on one more point, I think digital presence has become more and more important as well, because right now in the current environment in COVID, I think we need to try to build our digital presence as well. And in terms of the connections, though COVID restricted us, but also allows us to actually connect even beyond Singapore. Thank you.
Totally agree.
I can go next. Okay. Okay. So in the center, we would like to improve our quality on working between our clubs and executive committee. Before we're going to deal with anything on the same basis, surely as well, but more like we will try to understand in more detail on the existing system, try to make sure that the existing is running and how to try to understand what's going on with detail and see what we can improve from the current system first, because we believe that in order to transform to other group, other new council, the smooth transformation needs to be implemented. And that is one thing. And over to you, Muskan, if you would like to add on anything.
Yes, thank you, Ateep. So adding on to this, we talk about cross-collaborating with all the clubs and working together in cross-collaboration. And we see there's a lot of scope since all the clubs are trying to find the crossroads, come together to work together. So this is where we want to work to make sure that all the clubs are getting the chance to work together.
Thank you.
Okay, does everyone have 1 minute? Okay. If I will, I just want to say one piece, which is, I think as part of the challenging the conventional MBA experience and all that, right? Working with all the club leaders and the whole exco, I think really helping the cohort to discover their passions, whether it's at work or outside of work. I think that's something that we can do to try to bring it to the next level. If Pedro has anything to add.
Yeah, absolutely. I think listening is very important. So we want to really be the ears for all club members and work together with them. And Darren and I, who have a lot of stakeholder management, so knowing how to work cross-functionally for the longest time. So we can't really wait to start cracking on.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Kabir, can I ask 2 more questions or?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Sure,
second question would be, could you give me 5 keywords to describe on how you will if you are actually elected, how you will lead the council clubs in working with the different stakeholders? And I'm going to post my third question as well, so that you guys can answer it. And if both of you are elected, what would be the first three things that both of you would do? So 5 keywords to describe how you will lead the council, your clubs, and to manage working with different stakeholders. And what would be the first 3 things that you would do? Thank you.
Since we can go first. Okay, Shruti, do you wanna? No, I was just going to say that since I went first before, I'll give the chance to somebody else.
Guys, the timer is running.
We think the 5 keywords that we're looking for would be a democratic outlook amongst the students, unification between all the clubs, and making sure that all the stakeholders are working together. Promoting leadership would be one, to make sure that the people who are not in the club as well are getting the chance to initiate and do activities. The fourth would be inclusivity in terms of all the full-time, part-time students, including them and making sure that they're getting the chance. Athir.
And the last one that I would like to add is community builder. We are here to build you guys as a connected to one single NUS MBA community, from alumni, from you, your senior, and every corporate partner, to be one strong NUS MBA community. Thank you.
Maybe I'll go with the 5 keywords there first. So I think like I just mentioned
Pedro,
oh.
Sorry to cut you off for a second. Before we move on to the other two, I just want to remind that Eileen's question was 5 keywords, not 5 phrases. So if you can keep it to that.
Yeah, it's only our team now, our pair left. So I will stick to the plan. So as I said earlier, listening, empowering, supporting, inclusive, and engaging.
I think our 5 keywords would be empathy, first and foremost, empathy, inclusiveness, responsiveness, and diversity. And so these are ours. The second part of the question on what we have.
I think you're lagging.
Did people hear the 5 words that I said?
No,
Well, I hear
lagging.
up to diversity, and then I missed the last one.
Yeah, yeah. So your thing.
I'm going to repeat that again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We have to press on. So can we move on to the next? Sorry. We have to press on. So can we move on to the next question, please?
Reconnect.
All right. So we'll apologies for that, but we have to move on to questions from the floor. So can we start with Steve, who has his hand up first?
Yep, thank you. So can each of you just talk about how your SCTC experience has led you to want to run for the EXCO positions?
Can we start this one first, if you guys don't mind? I think I love the question, Steve, and really appreciate the opportunity to share that. Darren and I, we in fact met through a STTC event. We were part in the same cluster. So it's an event that we're going to be hosting next week for the marketing club. And from there, we started finding a lot of synergies and also differences. And we've been working ever since. So we are ready to get to work, and we can't wait to develop our partnership further.
And if I may add, I think I've been interested in running for the EXCO even before the SCTCs. And so for me, it was between EXCO and DNI Club. And so after the SCTC, I think it kind of showed me that there's so much more that we can do. And so I think that's why I chose to run for the EXCO. And with an amazing running mate like Pedro, I think it's further motivating me, and I think motivating him as well to do the best we can.
We will have to move on to the next question, please. Okay, can we move on to Ruby, please? Can you post?
Yes, ask questions. I just asked for a case when, for example, for the healthcare club, when we have an event, and just 4 days to the event, and we invite various maybe a presence of our healthcare companies, and we only got 10 guest speakers, 10 attendees to register in the form, and I went around to ask for the SCOP and VP. So how can you help us? I mean, in case of healthcare club, or for example, is that the right questions?
Shruti on mute.
Sorry, so this is part of my manifesto, so I'd like to take this. So I think one of the things that I have is more focus on niche clubs. And sometimes I think it is also quality over quantity, I guess. So the most important thing would be to have a lot of interaction. Even if you have 30, 40 guests and nobody is interacting. I mean, I've been to those events where people are not interacting with the guest speakers at all. That is one thing that I'd say, quality over quantity. And the next bit is to kind of cross-pollinate between a lot of clubs, because one of the things that I did during the Fiesta was to work with consulting and energy, and I didn't think that was possible at all, right? So maybe healthcare and consulting can do an event together, and that would kind of bring up the volumes a little bit. So that's the idea that I have. Do a lot of cross-pollination and have a lot of cross-collaboration happen between clubs, because you never know what opportunity might come with it. And do more digital and communication happening when the events begin, right? So.
All right, sorry, your time was up for that question. We'll have to move on to the next one. Okay, so before we move on to the hands that we have up, we do have questions in the chat that we would like to pose to the candidates, and we have one question from Vishal. This is specifically to Atif and Muskan. As both of you are from full-time batch, why should part-time students, including myself, vote for you when we have two other choices with both having part-time representation? So this is specifically for Atif and Muskan, please. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Let me just start by really briefly saying what we envision the EXCO as. So for both myself and Atif, we see that the president, vice president of the EXCO represents the entire community and not a specific set of students. We understand the distinction is made from an academic and post-duration point of view, that is in terms of the full-time, part-time students. But at the end of the day, all of us are an NUS MBA community, and we most definitely are here to serve that entire community.
Yeah, and as a president and vice president of executive committee, we will work very closely with Alejandro Xujing, not to be part-time liaison, but yeah, depending on the election as well, but to make sure that every concern the part-time student is being addressed at the most possible manner. And we believe that working closely with them, we could bring up the right balance between MBA Programmes Office and our cohort. And yes, for the betterment of us all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We will be taking questions from the current president and vice president, Safira and Alex, but before we move on to them, we'll take one more question from the floor from JO, and then we'll move on to Alex and Safira. JO, please.
So that transition is perfect because my question was actually going to be, so Alex and Safira did an incredible job this year from what I heard, but I'm curious, what's one thing you do differently for them, even despite the great job that they've done?
Did we hear the question correctly, that what was one thing that we could do differently from them? Is it?
Exactly, even despite all the great stuff that they have done.
I can go for this, but just that I think amidst the COVID situations and everything, the opportunity to engage in the inter-school activities and inter-school competitions that our partner universities, etc., was something that we were not able to do. When we come into the position, we are going to most definitely try to come and bring in a hybrid form of something where the universities and the students are interacting and participating together. That will just diversify our cohort experiences as well. Thank you.
Okay.
Another thing that I want to add on there is, go ahead, Darren. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. And I just wanted to say, I think, Safira and Alex, what they have done is great. Trying to facilitate like club collaborations, a lot of events that, for people to across industries. And so I think what we will try to improve on is the interactions between the whole cohort. I think right now, because of the, the hybrid model and whatnot, is very hard to kind of have like events. And so I think we're going to improve on how people can work together and play together. Yeah.
And just to add on, I think like working a little bit harder and more in terms of like driving that socially agenda, and even like becoming like a more inclusive leader, which is our manifesto and our slogan, me and Daryl here. So like we want to really like drive that agenda.
I think from us,
right,
one thing was obviously the PVP. Okay. All right, Kabir.
Sorry, we have to move on to the next question already. And at this point, we would like to invite Safira and Alex as the current president and vice president to pose your questions, please. Safira and Alex, if you hear us, please.
Hi guys. First of all, thank you for stepping up and having the interest to be the president and vice president of the Student Council, because trust me, based on our experience, it's not an easy journey. Okay, so I have a question for Daryl and Pedro. Okay, you promised in your manifesto to enhance employment and support career or industry change post-MBA by arranging bespoke events. Since mostly these events will equip students with basic skills, how will you make sure that you can help your batchmates secure jobs?
Okay, so if I may say first, I think really not just leveraging on our own networks. So Pedro and I come from very different backgrounds. And so I think our own networks itself, there is already some people that maybe are hiring. But at the same time, I think, the school faculty, there is already a lot of network there. So maybe working closely with BizLum. And then, because I think the career advisors, they all have their own networks as well. So, we can perhaps push more of the job availabilities, regardless of industries, to the cohort, encourage them to really leverage on the career advisors, and then at the same time, club leaders as well, their networks to try to find job openings.
If I may add, just like networking is a very key word here. And let's say most of part-timers, we have a very I would say large experience here in Singapore. Like myself, I'm almost 7 years in Asia. So we can leverage pretty much in our cohort to start off first.
All right, Alex, I think you're trying to ask a question, but you're muted. I can't hear you, Alex.
Oh, sorry. I was I find a very interesting point from your manifesto. So you're mentioning about balancing a traditional corporation experience with social responsibilities. Would you guys mind to elaborate more, and what's the specific plan you're gonna do, and how this mission gonna make you the great EXCO leaders?
Okay, so I think for us, as an EXCO, you have this one flagship event that you're supposed to organize, right? I think for us, our plan is really a pro bono week. So basically what that means is not just fundraising, it's not just physical volunteerism, but maybe skills-based consulting, because really using the expertise of the cohort to help NGOs, social enterprises on digitization, accounting, HR, etc. And so I think through there, it really just opens up your eyes to, that you can be both a corporate person and also be socially responsible. Yeah.
And I think the fact that we both come from very different backgrounds, and we both decided to run together because we are complementary and we want to have that inclusivity and that agenda as leaders. So I think that's where we are going to be focusing first.
Thank you,
guys. Before we move on to the next question, Shruti, would you like to do you have anything you'd like to add to respond to Alex's question?
Did you say Shruti?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think one thing that I do want to add is that I think the EXCO is basically the glue that holds the whole experience together. And one thing that I've seen in I've been through all manifestos at some point, and one thing that I definitely see everyone talking about is impact, right? Be it creating social impact, or be it creating community impact, or even be it creating cultural impact. So it's I think going to be quite easy for us because everybody has these big bold ideas already, and everybody has the plan of what they want to do with their club ready. So all that we need to probably do is to kind of harness that. And even though Fred and I would be leading if we do get elected, we would like to think that we are just channeling the entire cohort's voice and ideas forward, right? So that's exactly what we want to do. Thank you.
Can I also add something on this question?
Sure.
We'll give you 30 seconds.
Okay. So basically, I and Muskan, we also would like to leverage our alumni global network as well. So we come up with some sort of a buddy program, and then we take this idea to talk with our experiential team and know that they are doing something about this as well. And that is why we would love to do something about this. And we see that a lot of clubs activity would like to have some networking or pairing peer-to-peer, something like that. And I think this is a really great way to combine and collaborate this one to be a single impactful networking alumni network. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you, Akib. Safira, would you have 1 or 2 more questions before we open the questions back to the floor?
I actually have so many questions, but yeah, I will ask one question first to Atip and Muskan. So as part of your 4 focal points, I saw the proposed MBA network program. So Biz Alum already has MBA mentorship program to connect current students and alumni. And Exponential Learning team already has the NUS MBA network program to connect current students with the seniors. So what sort of improvement or new aspects that you will add to the networking programs? Feel free to combine the question answers, or Atip and Muskan.
Thank you, Safira. Yeah, so we had the same discussion with the experiential learning team as well when we coined this idea of getting the cohort and the alums and leveraging this network that the NUS MBA students are looking for. So the idea that we had in mind was to assign each alum to a student, and on the basis of the interest of field that the student is interested and the alum that is acing in that field, we could come up with the buddy program where the people could be helping and mentoring that student, not just through the MBA journey, but right after when they enter the industry, to secure positions, to make them aware of the conditions that are there in the industry as well.
Yeah, if I could have something to add on, it's like I have a chance to talk a lot with people, and a lot of people feel like we are not really connected to a lot of alumni, specifically to their industry of interest to really improve their career expansion, that kind of thing. I think this is something that we are trying to focus more on industry specific or role or function specific as well. Yeah.
Okay, guys.
All right.
2 questions. So the first one: what's the difference between the current your idea and the current mentor program? I don't see any difference. So last one question, the follow-up question. I have my own question. So I'm really curious, how many people have you guys talked? Let's say the part-time students, double degree students, exchange students, or even our batch, right? Because in your manifesto, you want to inclusive all in one. So if you don't talk to everyone, how do you know what they want? So 2 questions, please answer it. And it's open for the other candidates as well.
Thank you, Alex. So we did get an opportunity to talk to a lot of part-time students. We have 120 part-time students in our August 21 cohort as well. And we tried to connect to all of them since we're sitting at remote location and etc., not being on campus. The only way we could interact was through LinkedIn. And we tried to do that. Having a conversation with those part-timers, we could their concerns of not being able to attend the career workshop because they collaborated and they were clashing with their working hours, not being able to connect and network with the full-time students were some of the major concerns that we came across. And so we have some activities planned around that. For professionally, we are going to make sure to schedule the career workshop events in such a way that the part-time students are also able to attend those based on their interest and participation. On a personal level, we want to collaborate with CSE kind of activities to make sure that the people are not only gathering informally just for fun, but also for building a network.
I think Fred is also very passionate about this topic. Fred, do you want to add something more on your plans for the part-time inclusion?
Sure, I think add on a bit. I think as a part-time, I do see that I hear from a lot of part-time students, they want to know more about full-time, and vice versa, I hear from a lot of full-time students as well. So I think how we can promote that, one of the things I've been hearing is actually we can talk to the program office, see whether we can do more mixing in terms of the class grouping. Like right now, we mostly know those people in the same class. Another one I think will be more casual interactions. I already seen some of the weekends, we have a lot of offline events, hiking, cycling. So trying to do that. Though there's some restrictions because of the COVID, I can still do in the group of 5. And we learned from the MSK, 5 is actually a very good number for social networking. Thank you.
Thank you.
From my side, I think it's quite straightforward. It's like assigning a buddy from a part-time and full-time, and then be it casual, be it like a more formal, you can start it off, and not everyone is going to have the same experience that Darren and I had. But once you assign a buddy, buddy part-time, buddy full-time, you already have like a lot more opportunity to scale and get to know the entire cohort, and then synergies are going to emerge from there.
Questions from the
Okay, thank you guys. So Kabir, do you want to go ahead with cohort? Then we will have one more question for Daryl and Pedro at the end.
Sure. Yeah, I think
to the end, Fred. Sorry.
Yes, I think we'll take a question from the cohort. I think we have a question from Divakar, which he posted on the chat. But if you'd like to verbally ask your question here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks, Kabir. Hey guys, firstly, good luck to everyone. It's been quite intense. So I understand one of the greatest aspects of a leader is to understand what is their weak spots and what is their place to improvement, right? So I want to understand, I want to hear from each of the teams, what is one thing from the other pairs manifesto that you wish you had actually included in your own one? Basically, I want to understand how well you guys are aware of what's going on right now and the strengths of the different pairs. Thanks.
I'll go first. I really like the mentor and facilitator and intermediary bit of Ateep's and Muskan's manifesto. Both the videos and the manifesto was very colorful. I really like how they, especially the video blew my mind away. I really like how they used a virtual game to kind of show their vision for the entire cohort, and which include a lot of features like diversity, inclusion, even a little bit of their own personal background. Like 100% like great effort there. Love that. So that's something that I wish I would have also done. So
hey, Shruti, sorry to interrupt you here. What I meant is a vision or something that you would like to do to the cohort rather than the presentation aspect of the manifesto. Something that you think your own pair has been lacking or something like that.
Yeah, so on the mentorship, that's the first answer that I gave, was on the mentorship and facilitator perspective. While it wasn't clear what they wanted to do with it, mentorship was something that we didn't think about when we were devising that our manifesto, and I felt that maybe we should have also thought about it in some form.
If I could just add on from the Pedro and Daryl's one, I think.
All right, we're going to move on to the next pair. So if the next pair of candidates have a response to Diwakar's question, please go ahead.
Yeah, I will love. Okay, Daryl, you want to go first?
Oh, okay. Because you already...
you can go first.
It's okay. Yeah. I think really same thing as Shruti. What Shruti mentioned. Atit's point about mentoring. I think that would really support the career finding, and I think that's something that would we didn't really think about, but that is something that would really value add to what we are proposing, and the idea of being inclusive. We did touch on it, but I think it's something that's very strong in Atip and Muskan's manifesto, and so I think on Pedro and my side, these are the two things that perhaps we would really consider adding into moving forward if we become elected.
I would say my answer is quite the opposite to Daryl a little bit as well. Yeah, I would say in our manifesto and our video, a lot of our presentation, a lot of things that we try to send out to our cohort is pretty community-centric, people-centric. So that's why we would love to really focus more on the career-centric, to have something talk about the career expansion, but it doesn't mean that we do not work on it. We do work on it, but we would love to discuss about it individually with a lot of people after the submission of the patient video. Yeah, so that is one thing that I think.
Yes. Adding on to that, the point that I extremely loved in Darren and Pedro's manifesto was their bit of working towards the employment generation and the industry growth, because we have been getting the same inquiry from a lot of our batchmates as well, who want the data to be very centric in terms on the talent connect, where they are able to find jobs and internships. So for an easy access that way, we love that they actually included that in their manifesto. So yeah.
All right, very good. Thanks, Diwakar, for the question. It was quite an interesting question. We'll move on to Sherry. Sherry,
Yeah,
would you
okay.
like to pose the question, please?
Yes, thank you. So I'd like to hear from the three pairs. Have you talked with the current leaders and the club leaders? And is there any conflicts happened before that you are aware of? If such conflicts happen in future, how do you handle it? Thank you. For conflicts, maybe specifically conflicts between the clubs and MBA office. Thank you.
Clubs and MBA office. Okay, if I may answer that. Okay, so I think I didn't actually pick up any gossip about whether there's any conflicts, but from what I understand, there is definitely bound to be, because we're all in MBA, we're all leaders, so definitely there will people butt heads. So I think moving different groups are definitely a conflict for different reasons. So I can't really say what we will do, but I think the thing that Pedro and I will be is very neutral and understand what is both sides' point of view. I think that's part of negotiation. And so club leaders and the office as well, it's really just finding a middle ground. Everyone has a compromise, understanding what each other's priorities are. So yeah, that's from me.
Yeah, and we try to spend a lot of time talking also with the club leaders as much as we could. So I think managing conflict is one of by design, one of the things that I've been doing for the longest time. And again, listening and trying to be.
All right, sorry, Pedro, can we move on to the next pair, please?
Yeah, I can just add on to this by saying that we've talked to a lot of club leaders, but we're not aware of any past conflicts that have taken place. Had this happened in the future, what we envision and how we are going to handle this would be to have a neutral conversation between all the clubs and the MBA Programmes Office to understand everybody's perspective, because we're very sure that everyone would be having different rationale behind taking up any concern. So by having that dialogue between everyone, I'm very sure that we'll be able to reach at a point where we're able to sort it.
Just a few words to summarize. So when it comes to conflict management, being honest and clear communication is something that is really vital to really resonate all the communication, all the conflicts out there. And that is something that I and Muskan really would love to bring to our ecosystem when working with all the clubs and MBA Program Office.
I think one of the reasons that we put empathy was for that reason. We have to understand that everybody is coming from a lot of different perspectives and they're all going to have great ideas. And what you have to do is just understand where they're coming from and try to accommodate everybody as much as you can, and just say that, hey, we are still adults. We can absolutely solve this if we just talked it through. So that's what I would do. Yeah, and I don't foresee hopefully any club fights with our cohort.
Yeah, if we just add on a bit on how I view conflicts, I do feel like conflicts are a very good thing. I'll be very worried if there's no conflicts. And the key is actually to finding the common ground. And it's not a positional conflict, it's actually finding the most interests.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to the last few sets of questions, actually. Just before we close off this session, we would like to give the last word to Safira. I believe she has one or two questions for the candidate. So Safira, if you would like to pose your questions, please.
Sorry, guys, one moment. We had technical difficulties.
All right, well, while you guys sort it out, I have one question specifically for Daryl. Daryl, I understand you wanted to run for DNI Club originally. So my question is, what made you change your mind and what makes you confident in running for the Exco President position? Daryl conveniently froze when I asked this question. Okay, never mind. If we can't get to him, then we'll go ahead with Safira.
Okay, thanks, Kabir. So I have one question for Shruti. In one of your vision in your manifesto, you said that you will ensure greater collaboration with internal and external ecosystem. Could you please be specific on that? So how do you look to engage other schools? Do you intend to collaborate with schools in Singapore or go beyond geographies now that virtual events are the new normal? Thank you.
Absolutely. So one thing that we wanted to do to enhance collaboration between clubs was to I think that's something that we do already. At start of the year, we all the club leaders sit together and have that conversation and then collect the voice of the cohort and then, begin to create a better plan for it. The one idea with the addition of core committees this year is to, I'm sure that we'll have a lot more ideas in the mix. And just to create better cohesion, I think even EXCO needs more visibility. We don't have core committees for EXCO. When I was running for EXCO, I wasn't really sure what were some of the responsibilities that required to that role. And that is one of the major reasons why I felt that there needs to be more visibility into what the EXCO per se does, right? So even to people that is coming in into our cohort right now, or even for the future cohorts, having clarity there is important. And yeah, from the word, just to answer the second bit, yes, we are planning, since the world is virtual now, we are planning to have, I'm just answering the second bit of the question about the virtual.
Okay, so I will have a last question for you guys. So you guys mentioned about sitting down and discuss the club leaders about what's the good part or some part need to change for the current student councils. So for your current mindset, right, what are the areas you think you should improve? We should improve immediately. And how do you help the clubs to make it come true? So it can be answered for all of you.
Okay. So first of all, I think just to clarify, the one that we mentioned is actually the club leaders to be elected, which is our batch. So the plan we had is actually, as I mentioned in the manifesto video, we're launching a mass survey to understand the cohort's whole interest. As we heard, a lot of club leaders have this idea. We'll collect that and make as one. And then we would like to sit down with all the club leaders to be elected to understand what their vision for their each clubs. And some of the points that we wanted to highlight as just now, we want to focus more on the hiring angle. We already have a lot of info sharing sessions, but I want to highlight more in terms of the career angle, as well as to increase the digital presence as well. So those are some of the points that we would like to improve in terms of how to working with the different clubs.
I think like from our side is mainly like really focusing a little bit more on that agenda of like socially and responsibly like inclusive. And I think like how to shape like leaders for the future, and that will involve literally every single club. And I think the second point is definitely like that buddy idea between like part-timers and full-timers, and overall we're going to get a lot more traction for all the clubs, more visibility as well. And Daryl, if you want to add anything.
Oh, it's okay. I think you said everything that we wanted to say.
Cheers.
On the cross collaboration of the club bit, we feel that the entire idea of the core members behind every club is a fantastic idea, because apart from the leadership position as well, there are people who want to contribute to that club. So that bit is amazing. Apart from that, we want to make sure that there are people who are not a part of any specific club. There might be people who are interested in some field, but there's no club to cater to their needs, right? So we want EXCO to be that position where people can just approach us, where people can come to us with their ideas, with their initiatives or the sessions that they want to take ahead moving forward. And we're going to be there to cater to those needs as well.
One addition to that is to take constant feedback. We had something called the Pulse surveys at work, and which would very clearly just be a very simple input to what the cohort wants in terms of what the events that could happen. And then it would be a very easy to continuously gather.
Oh, sorry guys, you have answered already, so you should not answer twice. So I know you get a lot of pressure. So let's have a very fun question, okay? So each of you should answer this question. So out of 3 pairs here, what's your personal vote?
Can you please repeat that?
What's your personal vote for the EXCO pairs? So if you are the one who will vote the most, and why you want to vote this pair?
They can vote for themselves.
We can vote ourselves, right?
You cannot say yourself.
No, can. If they want. Yeah.
But why?
But why?
Why?
I can go first. Okay, cool, thank you. One thing before going right to my answer is that I think all the people here are amazing enough. The fact that you guys already come here is amazing and proof that you guys are big leadership in this role. And that is already amazing fact enough. But if I really need to choose one, to choose a pair to be the exco president and vice president, I think, yeah, definitely, right? I would probably choose I and Muskan for the exco president and vice president, because we believe that we have that kind of public spirit there since we were young. This kind of thing,
Okay, let's move on. We heard the vote.
Okay, I would vote for myself and Pedro also, because I think, both of us represent very diverse yet equally capable leaders that can really support the cohort.
It would be criminal for us not to answer that. We would vote for ourselves as well. But like I said, Fred is the yin to my yang, and I think we basically complement each other really well. So I would probably also vote for us.
What about the VPs?
I think the spirit. Yeah, go ahead, Fred.
Go ahead. Okay, I think first of all, I agree with Shruti. The vote goes to our pairs as well. I have to say that all the pairs, all the leaders are amazing. I'm so amazed by all the student leaders. I will vote for ourselves. I think we are a great pair with a great balance in terms of gender, the FT and PT, the experience, and we have a lot of conflicts and we solve it well. So I think we are a great pair.
Yeah, we have a lot of conflicts already.
I think the spirit of the question was not really to necessarily acknowledge that everyone is great, which I think we are all. Just to be devil's advocate here, I'm not going to choose me and Darrow. I'm going to choose Fred and Shruti, just because they also represent the full MBA experience, being a full-time and a part-time.
I would go ahead and my vote option would be for myself and Ateeb, just for the reason that we have collaborated, not just for the exco, but we were friends before that. We know how each of us are working, and we know the common values that we want to bring for the entire cohort and how we want to work for the entire cohort. That will just, so the warmth, confidence, and the leadership that we ourselves individually feel in our life would be projected well to our association as well. So yes.
Oh, Pedro, it was a selfless answer. So yeah, okay, let's move on from that.
Maybe last
question. So, okay, I want to ask each of you, what will you do if you don't win? Will you still contribute, and how would you contribute to the NUS MBA community?
Absolutely. Even if I don't win, I think I would continue to contribute to it. Me and Fred, I think we worked on a pretty exhaustive manifesto, and we have a lot of ideas. So especially on creating more, sustainable engagement, because I think we have a lot of events, but we don't capitalize on them well enough. And there is a lot of passion within this cohort that can also be, leveraged and, used to, kind of move our cohort to greater heights. And the second one would obviously also be more external networking with our peer schools and even schools outside of the country, right? So just to broaden our vision and become more global. And that's what we'll try to do even if somebody else gets selected. Thank you.
Yeah, totally agree on that.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Fred.
You're on mute, Fred.
I was being muted. I was being muted. I think we already answered. Go ahead, Muskan. Yeah.
So from this point of view, I think that not being elected to a position would not matter to the contributions that we want to make to the cohort, because this is just a title. Even if we do not win, the ideas and the passion that we want to bring for this entire year would not be harmed or would be hindered by the selection of this. We will actively try to participate in all the club events, try to be a core member of the club events, and externally also try to just uphold the brand image of NUS. Thank you.
Yeah, so I feel like for me and Darryl, we are hosting an event next Wednesday. So regardless if we win or not, we'll be there as excited as we would regardless. And I think that's the spirit, really. So we'll be like across the board trying to participate as much as we would being elected or not. So please, guys, join us next Wednesday, Marketing Club.
And if I may add, I think for my side, because social impact has always been something that I'm very passionate about. So even if I'm not elected, that's something that I really want to push, because I think that's something that will really benefit the cohort. And so, yeah, no matter what, you'll still see more of me.
I want to add a little bit on Muskan as well. I just want to say that we both of us, we have that public spiritedness, and we were in high school to the college, so it doesn't really matter whether we got elected or not, even though it's a little bit matter, but yes, eventually our DNA will tell us that we're gonna need to bring the impact to our community in any way that we could do.
All right, I think that answers the question from Safira. I believe we are already past the time that we're supposed to end, and we do need to get to the closing remarks. So Safira and Alex, any further questions from you guys, or can we move on?
Oh, well, let's move on. I think that's all for tonight.
Okay, I have, just before we close though, I have one small question specifically for Shruti and Fred. You mentioned twice in this session that you have a lot of conflict between the two of you. I just want to clarify whether this is something that is concerning.
Not at all. Conflict in terms of what we want, conflict as a good thing, conflict not as a bad thing. Both of us had a lot of ideas that we wanted to implement. And I think coming to a manifesto was one of the most difficult things for us, because we had so many ideas that we wanted to implement. And then just getting to that crux of that matter and having that productive discussion constantly was what really helped us to grow as this pair that you're seeing now. And yeah, so I'd say nothing to be worried about. Fred, do you want to go ahead and also answer that?
I just share how we resolve that. I think first of all, we are very upfront in terms of telling our ideas. If I don't agree with Shruti, I'll just say I don't agree. I don't think it's a good idea. And how we achieve that is actually we try to tell the rationale behind why we think this is not a good idea and how we can be better. And in the end, actually, we come up with a better idea than each of us.
Right. Okay. So it's more of disagreements and conflicts per se, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right. With that, I think thank you. Thanks everyone for your really good questions, and to all the candidates for your responses, and all the best for your candidature and for the election. So we'll move on to the closing remarks from Safira and Alex, and I believe there will be some short briefing into how the voting will take place. So Safira, if you'd like to take over, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Kabir. Oh, yeah. So, okay. So this will be the voting announcement. The voting lines for the election will be open from tonight until Sunday. So this actually will be extended to 3 p.m. And please note that this form will not accept any votes outside of these times, and there will be no extensions to the voting period. And therefore, you must vote within this window to make your votes count. So the voting link will be sent to you after the face-off session. And some details on the voting. So for the professional clubs, consulting, energy, entrepreneurship, finance, healthcare, marketing, technology, only votes from the respective members will be valued and counted. And non-members must select the option, I am not eligible to vote. So you will see this option on the voting form. And the club membership list can be accessed. Here means the email. So we will send this across in our email as well. And everyone can vote for leaders for the general interest clubs, CSC, DNI, Sports and Wellness, CI, and Sandbox. And to elect the part-time liaisons, only votes of the part-timers will be counted. So full-time students must click on I am not eligible to vote, again, the option. And the part-time students can only vote for one candidate or no confidence. Again. So in case of a tie for a position, a vote from the president of the 38th NUS MBA Students Council will be the tiebreaker. So yeah, but we do hope that there will be no tie for this one. Alex, you want to go ahead?
Sure. So in the scenario where the no conflict option received, majority of you guys have voted like none of the candidates is eligible. For the council leaders, we're gonna rerun it. For example, if 100 members, the pair received 27% of votes, pair B received 23%, pair C received 20%, but no confidence received 30%, which means we don't have any club leaders for this club. We're gonna rerun for this club.
So in case of any other discrepancies, the decision of the 39th Students' Council Election Committee will be final. And to close, I just want to say to all of the candidates, thank you for stepping up. Thank you for expressing your interest to be part of the Student Council. Best of luck to all of you guys. To all those who, next will be elected, please do serve your cohort and serve the whole NUS MBA Club ecosystem, and please walk the talk. Please do your vision and mission.
Okay, thank you everyone. Best wishes for election.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Great night to
Thank
hear.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.